So the Association on Aging with Developmental Disabilities supports and serves aging adults with developmental disabilities to promote their dignity and independence. We narrow it down really so that it's more understandable to the words engage, protect, and teach in all of our training for our staff and for the people we get to support. We believe our goal is to engage people in things that they care about, to protect them from harm, and that we're all teachers here. We're lifelong learners too, but we teach skills that people who are aging are going to use in their retirement. 1988, there were 4 agencies that got together. They were predominantly aging organizations. But it was the Aging and DD World, and a grant was written. They brought in the University of Missouri, Kansas City to do some training. So the growing need actually had to do with the aging world recognizing people with developmental disabilities starting to hit their systems, and the developmental disabilities world just kind of say, we can take care of our own. So there was an opportunity to share, information. And one of the cool things was like St. Louis ARC back in the day was at that table. So as time went on, 10 years later of education, there was a little conference that got started. So kind of the base of mission for the organization is, information is free and should be shared as much as possible. Special interest group was formed and they positioned themselves to be incorporated in 1994. So since that time, it was interesting because it was just an educational component about bringing the aging and DD world together, but it actually then we ended up being a direct service provider. So currently we serve about 250 people that are over the age of 50 in the St. Louis area, the St. Louis City, County, and St. Charles County. And so happy, healthy people. So, what does a person who's aging with a disability look like? Like pretty much anybody else. So, rule of thumb is the greater the disability, the shorter the lifespan. So, we have people who may have driven to an event that we've done, our great grandparents are married, are exchanging information with each other, living pretty active lives with support. The initial programs that were built started with a retirement support group with the concept of meeting around a mealtime because in the Midwest that's more likely when we're going to socialize. So the original groups that were started at a 1-to-4 staffing ratio were kind of tough because it was back in the day, 30 some odd years ago, where people answered yes to everything and they cried. So they looked at their laps, they just shook their heads yes. And so to get them to grow and develop and recognize that they had value and that they could give back and a voice to be heard has a pretty amazing road. So the group stuff started out at a nutrition site. Area Senior Centers is where it is that those guys met. As they've developed, they've renamed themselves as Senior Hotshots. To be a Senior Hotshot really is a big deal. You're invited and you kind of got to toe the line because they operate at a higher level than the other people that are around them. The retirement services then came into play, and man, when I wrote that one, I wrote it as a reverse job coaching model. So it was a one-on-one service, and it's teaching people to retire. And so what I look at in that arena was really what were other people who had gray hair, like the guys that I was supporting. What were they doing in their retirement, and what is it that our guys wanted to do in their retirement? So that was the first 2 programs. We moved from there, and Kathy's going to catch you later. The Circle of Friends of the We Care Project, which are hot new things that we're kicking on. But over the years, you look at core elements. So what in the world is going to keep my person healthy and alive and engaged and in the community and being active? And so part of what we do in our teaching strategies just for the community is almost jargon, right? So this slide is titled, I call it the healthy recipe for aging. But again, it's something that is drilled into every participant that we have here in this organization on things that we practice every day with somebody who's with us. We're looking at health, we're looking at nutrition. We practice balance training, standing on one foot so that you don't fall over and break a hip. We look at cognitive stimulation therapy, which is basically using your brain so it doesn't come to mush. Socialization is a big deal. So we have a goal, and the whole socialization component of what we do is to really practice our social games and be in a power spot towards, power help spot towards the other people who are in whatever activity with us. And that's worked pretty good. It ends up that it's um practicing this recipe ends up that my guys are more likely to look you dead in the eye, and drive whatever it is activities that they're doing independently. So pretty cool.
Pam had mentioned that the group named themselves the Senior Hotshots, and it is truly an identity for the individuals who we serve. For those who are over the age of 50, if you ask them collectively, who are you, you will get a resounding call out of, we are Senior Hotshots. And having that identity, having that group, having that belonging is a critical piece of the services that we provide for people who are aging. But in addition to that group identity, we also want to help people and support people in developing their own unique identities. So we have people who are artists and fishermen and bowlers and gardeners and volunteers and you name it, individuals self identifying of the things that are of interest to them. In 2019, we had the opportunity to collaborate with St. Louis University to bring a program, an international program called the Circle of Friends to St. Louis. So, Circle of Friends is a program that was developed at the University of Helsinki in Finland, and it is an evidence based social isolation prevention program designed for older adults. So, the idea is forming groups together with like interests, feeding on that identity, preventing social isolation, combating loneliness by having group interests and group participation. And when this initiative was brought to St. Louis by St. Louis University, our organization, along with two others, had the opportunity to participate. And we are the first, and as far as we know, still only organization in the United States or anywhere for that matter to have adapted the Circle of Friends program for individuals with developmental disabilities. There are three distinct components to Circle of Friends. There is a component of arts and inspiration, which can be any number of things. It can be doing art projects, it can be cultural experiences. We have a group that is learning about different countries. They've actually made their own passports to be able to travel virtually to different places. They're learning about the culture, they're learning about the people, they're learning about the foods, and then they're culminating their experience with going to a restaurant that features that ethnicity because, we all like food. There's an exercise and health component to the program. And sometimes exercise is the E word, so we kind of have to sneak it in. As you saw on some previous slides, if it's dancing, we don't recognize that it's exercise. In this particular we are playing with a ball that has information on it. So we're doing both the therapeutic reflection piece along with the exercise and balance piece. The therapeutic reflection, initially that was journaling, but as journaling is not a strong point for many people who we serve, we do it either verbally or we do it through pictures. There are a variety of ways that component. We also realized over the past couple years that not only do the people who we serve have tendency towards social isolation and perhaps a need for circle of friends, but their family members also may be isolated just by the very nature of being caregivers. And so we have started a circle of friends group for family members as well. Stay tuned for updates on that. Excited to see where that goes. The other newer program that we've just completed is called We Care. And the idea of We Care actually began probably 20 plus years ago, where we had the vision, well, Pam had the vision initially, of creating some sort of modified CNA type caregiving for individuals who we serve. Because over 60% of individuals aging with a developmental disability are living in family homes, and many of them are living with individuals who are also older adults, siblings, or parents. And so to be able to learn mutual caregiving, to be able to support each other in the family home, allows them to age in place. So the We Care curriculum has different modules that focus on, it's an acronym, wellness, education, confidence. And we found that confidence is a huge piece of this program. A lot of the information, individuals already had the knowledge, but they didn't have the practical application or the confidence to put their knowledge into practice. Assessment, and then finally recognizing emergencies. Last year, we completed a pilot project, and since then, this program has spread throughout the United States, and we're eager to hear where and how it's being utilized. And we're hoping that everybody who utilizes this program has the same really amazing benefits from it as the people who we serve have experienced. In addition to aging services, AD also has a variety of other services. The top two, Social Clubs and Challenges Unlimited, are both socialization geared programs. The idea of those is they are for adults 21 years and older in order to basically get people connected to our organization, get people connected to relationships, connected to their community, so that as they age, they already have that support system built into place. We also have contracts through the Department of Mental Health. Some of those individuals also participate in other programs that we have. Private pay contracts are available if anybody has a need for a service that we don't specifically provide or they don't have eligibility for funding. We provide ISLA services. We also provide system navigation and education because we don't know what we don't know. And oftentimes, a person doesn't know the questions to ask until there's already an imminent need. We can have information and resources available to us, but we don't necessarily pay attention to them until we're in crisis. And so the idea is to have that education available so that if and when people are ready for resources, we're able to provide the information they need and support them in whatever journey they're on. And then finally in education is our annual conference. And we will be hosting our 34th annual conference this coming year in May.
I think people are really intrigued by the facts that you're offering all those services. Can you give a little bit more detail about what eligibility is required to participate in different programs?
Living in a county of residence that funding is available. And then meeting whatever those eligibility requirements are for that county. So basically having a developmental disability and meeting the age criteria for whatever the program is. The majority of our programs, the age range is 21 and over, but for the aging services, it's typically 50 and over, unless a person has some sort of premature aging or other situations that may require them to have those services earlier.
Okay. And are most of your programs available in St. Louis City and St. Louis County, or is it a real mix?
All of the programs we've described are available in St. Louis City. The majority are available in St. Louis County as well, or at least half are available in St. Louis County as well. And then St. Charles, only the aging services, individual and retirement support group.